Hey guys, so I'm going to get into the first deck and I'm going to explain a little bit of Magic for those who don't play Magic to see if they kind of help people understand a little bit about how the decks work. So firstly, there's 5 colors in Magic and you can mix and match these colors by putting multiple colors on a single deck, but you need land of that color to be able to play creatures. So it's a little bit risky to put more than one color on a deck until you start getting dual land. Each color kind of has a theme. For example, red is fire. There's a lot of burn. There's a lot of damage spells. And it's fast because fire spreads fast. Then you have green, which is like trees. It grows, meaning that the creatures tend to be bigger. And it allows you to get more land out faster, meaning you can cast more spells. Black is like death. There's a lot of things that are graveyard related. Things are usually slow because zombies are slower, right? And so that's kind of where each of the colors go. Now, white and blue are a little bit different. It's more unique. It's hard to explain like, oh, blue's about this. Blue is mostly about disrupting the enemies, and white has a little bit of every color. But you can mix and match to do whatever you want, and a lot of times you'll just find certain effects that work. So just because you do green and black doesn't mean that it's going to be a slow deck. It just means that you might like the abilities that happen to appear a lot in black and green. So we're going to play this black and green deck first. And to show this deck, what we're going to be doing is the cards that we have in the deck are over here on the right, and all the cards available to us to use are over here on the left. And you're going to notice a theme as we go through this really quick. Exile 2 cards, you can explore. Explore is a draw mechanic that allows you to see cards before you actually draw it. Target creature you control explores. Target creature gets weak. When he enters the battlefield, you explore. Destroy target creature. When it enters the battlefield, explore. Okay, do you see where I'm coming from? You hear a lot of explore. And the reason why is because of this card right here, Wild Growth Walker. And what Wild Growth Walker does is whenever a creature you control explores, you put a +1/+1 counter on Wild Growth Walker and you gain 3 life. This entire deck has this specific theme of exploring because you want to get that card out and you want to pump it up as fast as possible. So that's essentially the theme of this. I'm not going to go through all of the cards, but I will read through them as I draw them as we're playing the game. So the first game that we're going to be playing, let's see if we can get into a game really quick. Let's go. Let's select our deck. We're playing the Golgari Exploration, and we are going to do Constructed because that's the only option that we have available during this closed beta. Alright, I'm going against Korean Barbecue, which is unfortunate because I like Korean Barbecue. And I am a cow, so cows are probably terrified. So in the beginning, you have the option of mulliganing, which means that you will replace your entire hand. However, I like my hand because while I don't have a lot of things early game, I do have the land that I need to do whatever I need to do. So in this situation, I'm going to keep my hand. Now I can look through my cards really quick and read what they do. Whenever a creature you control explores, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-2 until the end of turn. Again, control or explore is what we're doing. We have a exile target creature. Exile is like killing something, but even worse because it doesn't go to the graveyard. We have Mausoleum Harpy, Flying, Ascend. What Ascend does is if you control 10 or more permanents, you get the City's Blessing for the rest of the game. I have no idea what the City's Blessing is. If you have City's Blessing, you put a +1/+1 counter. All right. Okay, so on my first turn, I am going to simply place a swamp, and I'm going to end my turn because there's nothing else I can do. And to speed up the game, if you do the only action that you're able to do, the Magic the Gathering arena is immediately going. It kind of makes it frustrating because if you want to bait the enemy to make it seem like you can do something, this immediately ends your turn, so they know you can't do anything. So it's a little bit frustrating because you're losing a bit of the baiting, but it's also nice because you can speed up games. You don't want people stalling out your games and taking forever because it's frustrating. So hold on for a second. Okay. All right, so The rest of the cards in here, so Ascend, if we have 10 or more permanents, which land is also permanent, so this is going to be a really good card later. It makes it to where whenever another creature you control dies, it gets stronger. And it also has flying, so it can fly over enemies as well as attack other enemies, or defend against other enemies with flying. Alright. You may look at the top card of your library. You may cast the top card of your library if it's a creature. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any type to cast creatures. What that means is, let's say, for example, you have a creature that requires specific mana. You can use any sort of color of mana to summon it. It's a pretty strong card, actually. I really like this. I think this card's going to end up in a lot of decks. Alright, so we're going to play our last land, which gives us enough mana to do either one of these. Target opponent exiles a creature he or she controls, or target opponent reveals his or her hand and you choose a non-land to exile that card. Personally, I think this card's really strong. I'm going to hold off. I want to get out this creature first. And I can also discard so that this creature can explore. So this will give me a draw mechanic. He has mana available, which means that he might be able to cast something, but he can't do anything right now, which will end my turn. End my turn? Yeah? Yeah? No? That's weird. Okay, cool. And again, guys, this is an open beta. Sorry, a closed beta, and it's a stress test. So if you see any weird glitches, it's purely just because of the stress test. Looks like there's a little bit of Hearthstone-esque clicky things. It doesn't look like there's any objects that you can click, which is kind of unfortunate, but that also kind of wore out very quickly. No one really clicks those anymore. Alright, so this time he's blue, and blue has counter spells, so I'm going to need to play really safe about what I cast, because I don't want him to immediately destroy whatever I summon, so I need to be very careful about it. I may just explore, because I don't want him to kill. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cast this one so that this one can maybe take the next, because he might counter this spell. And if he does counter this spell, then I'll have this for next turn, which in my opinion, this one's way better than this one. Because you can cast spells that are on top of your, yeah, there we go, cancel. So he used his counter spell. I had a feeling he would do that just because he had enough mana and he didn't summon anything. And blue has counter spells. So I'm just getting a little bit of damage off. Not much. 1 damage is not anything. I like this card. I like both of these cards a lot. Like, these are really cool cards. They do a lot of things. And you'll see that in Magic the Gathering. Each card, like, there's so many more complex cards. The most complex card you see in Magic is, like, maybe 1 ability, maybe 2 if you're lucky. But cards in Magic will sometimes have, like, up to 4 different things that they can do. Alright, so this is when it enters the battlefield Explorer. He still has a lot of stuff here, so I'm just, again, I don't want him to counter my strong creature. I want him to counter all of these kind of terrible creatures first. Yeah, it looks like he can do something here. He's just deciding whether or not he wants to counter this creature. Okay, so now I can explore. What exploring does is it says, select whether to place this in your graveyard or in the top of your library. When this enters the battlefield, it explores. I want this on the top of my library. And it also got buffed. I don't know why. I'm guessing Explore has a secondary mechanic that it does, which I will have to see later. I also want to explore with this guy, which means I'm going to use his ability to discard a card. And I'm going to discard this creature right here. As well, I will have 10. I still don't really want to use that card. I want to explore. And it's just going to show me the same thing, which was probably a big mistake. He's seeing if he can counter it. I see the same thing, and I'm going to do library. So exploring does also buff your own creature. That's something that's good to know. I'm going to enter battle phase, which should be choose the attackers right here. We do 2 damage. All right, and now I'm going to end my turn. Click to remove stop. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so he is going to use this at the end of his turn. I'm going to let it resolve because I have nothing that I can do, and there's really no benefit in me trying to bait him out and make it seem like I have something that I can do. As green and black doesn't usually have too many things to disrupt spells. That's usually a blue thing. Alright, I'm getting a little bit of damage off, but the way it works in Magic is honestly the early damage isn't that big of a deal unless you're playing a red deck that you can finish off enemies quickly with. So I'm going to try to get this game going pretty quick. We're already 10 minutes into this video, and I want to try to get these out quickly. I like the art on that. I follow one of the Magic the Gathering artists, Noah Bradley. If you don't follow him, here, I actually want to show some of his work. He's a really, really great artist. He's got a website, and he's got 2 pieces of art that I just love. But essentially, I might need to scroll past this because this might be NSFW. All right, so this is Noah Bradley's work. It's really, really amazing. He's just simply an amazing artist. But I don't know how much I can scroll through because he does have some NSFW, and I don't know YouTube's rules on that. So it is art, so I personally think any age can see it, but you never know. All right, I don't know what they just did there. Is there a way to see what just happened? And what just happened here? Enchanted creature can't attack or block, and enchanted creature has pay 2, sacrifice this creature, you gain 2 life. Oh, okay. So it stops my creature, but it also gives me the opportunity to gain 2 life later by paying 2 mana. So I want to get out. He's all tapped out, so this is the time that I want to get out my strong creature first. My strong creature allows me to use any sort of mana to summon anything, and it reveals the top card of my deck so that I can cast that if it's a creature card. So that's all that I can do. My turn is ended, and now it is the enemy's turn. This card, I really like this card. This seems like a really strong card. I want a bunch of these. It does so many things. And it doesn't seem that strong, right? Like, these are the cards that I love. That they don't seem that strong with, like, their it's only a 3/4. But at the same time, it has so many things that help you do other stuff. Oh, what just happened? You just steal my card? I think you just stole my card. How do I see? Okay, when this enters the battlefield, you may exile a a target non-land permanent until this leaves the battlefield. Okay, so I have to get that to leave the battlefield to get my creature back. So, do I want to just Doomfall it? I think I just want to Doomfall it. Target opponent exiles creature he or she controls. Now, I just gave him a choice to exile, but he only had 1 creature out, so he had to exile that one. Now, I'm going to... I don't need to explore right now, but I still want a board available to do stuff. So, I don't know. I feel like I should explore. Do I need this, though? I don't think I need that. So I'm going to explore and toss that to the bottom, and then the explorer is still valuable. I do want some creatures, because I want to get a lot of creatures out. We'll have a land next turn. All right. So I like our board. We've got a 3/4, 2/3, but I'd like a bigger board faster. With green in a deck, you can normally build up a board very, very quickly. I really want to get rid of this, but I can't figure out... I don't think I have anything that can get rid of that. There is a card in green that's called Naturalize, and I don't know if they're reprinting it for this set, but it destroys enchantments. So my hope, I'm going to cross my fingers that we've got a Naturalize. Alright, target creature you control explores. You may play an additional land this turn. Oh, that's pretty cool. Alright, so this is a dual land. I can tap this for either color, and it enters the battlefield tapped. So it's already used. I have the mana to do this, which is great because I'll be able to do that later. I do not want to sacrifice that. I want to go into combat, and I want to get some 5 damage off. Let's go to attacks. All attacks. 5 damage. I'm going to go to damage. What it's asking me is, do I want to cast this card, which I don't. I'm going to end my turn. Now I have mana, and this is an instant, so if he summons a really big creature, I can just immediately exile it. Usually exile is something that's given to white, not black. So this set, it seems like they're doing something a little bit different, as black usually gets destroy creatures and white gets exile creatures. Alright, what does this do? When Baffling End enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls. When when converted mana costs 3 or less, when it leaves the battlefield, target opponent creates a 3/3 green dinosaur. So if I could destroy that, I get a dinosaur. All right, what does this do? When binding enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent opponent controls until this leaves the battlefield. Your opponent can't cast spells of the same name. Oh, he's probably going to get rid of that. It's going to be rough. Wait, what did he... Yeah, he's getting rid of that. That sucks. Whatever. I need to figure out if I've got anything that kills enchantments in this deck. I really need that. Alright, yeah, he can go to combat. He doesn't have anything. Oh, wait. That was me that was going to combat. Oh, that's a little tricky. It needs to make it a little bit more obvious when it's your turn. Wait, now it says block? That's strange. Okay, my turn. That was just a little strange. Okay. Target creature you control explores. You may play additional lands. So I'm going to have this creature explore. It'll make him a little bit stronger, and it allows me to play another land this turn, and I get to check what's the top card of the deck. Maybe shift it to something that can destroy artifacts, which he counters it. I think it's okay to let this resolve. There's nothing I could do anyways, but at the same time, I don't think that's that big of a deal. Yeah, let's go to attacks, and let's hit him with this. Get some more damage off. Alright. So we're sitting about 16 minutes in this video. Not much else I can explain with what's on the board anyways. This is my exile. I'd like to be able to get my exiles back. Alright, what is this? Ascend. Whenever it attacks, if you have a city blessing, put +1/+1 on it. Are any of these city blessings? I don't believe so. So I'm going to let it resolve. Now the reason that I don't want to kill it right now is because I can kill it when it attacks and he wastes a whole turn of having it. So I'm going to just let it go, and I'm going to let the attackers go, and I'm not going to pick a blocker. And I'm going to go to my turn. So he can block with this, with his creature. Now Ascend, what is... Yeah, Ascend is still the same thing if you have a city card. And it's flying. So I can't block it, and I can attack, but I don't want him to buff his creature, which I don't know the cards of this set right now. So I'm just going to simply end, and I'm going to see if he attacks. So we're going to go no attackers and end turn. I'm saving this for the last possible moment. My reason why is because if he summons another creature and it's bigger, I'll want to make sure to use this on the other creature. I wonder what options they give us to talk. Your go. Oops. Nice. Good game. Hello. All right. Combat. You know what? I'm just going to take the 2 damage, right? Like, there's no point. I have a lot of health. Sure. Like, there's... Does he have a... Oh, I guess he does have a city card. Which is fine. I still don't want to block. I don't think I can block, actually. Yeah, I can't block. So, we'll just get the damage off. I'll take 3. I want to make sure that if I'm going to kill anything, I'm going to kill something that's big. Because it's a 5 cast, I don't want to use it on like this little 3 cast unless it gets really strong. You gain 2... Enchanted creature can't attack or block. Well, that's unfortunate. He really can lock me down. And this deck has nothing to answer this from what I can tell. So I'm going to let this resolve. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to burn his creature really quick. I want to do it while I still have mana. And it may be able to burn another card. Because let's say I draw something really big this turn. I want to make sure that I have the mana to cast that. And I want to make sure that it doesn't get counterspelled. So I activated that at the end of his turn. And now on my turn, hopefully I draw something big. I draw a swamp. So I probably just lost this game. So I'm just going to speed it up. I'm going to go through it quickly. I may end up sacrificing this if I need to, just to gain the life. But, yep, I probably lost this game. Could I have done anything different? I'm not sure. I feel like the cards that were available to me, there's nothing that I could have done. But I don't know. I could have played a little bit different, summoned different creatures in different orders. I felt like I had the creatures out in the order that I needed, just because. Yeah, I'll play this, get it out at least. I don't think I can do any exploration or anything, and he might even have more counter spells. I think he has something, or else, yeah, another counterspell. Definitely done this game. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just probably go one more turn. Let me sacrifice this. Gain a little bit of life, and I'm probably going to forfeit after next turn if I don't draw anything. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I could have done anything different this game. I think the biggest thing that I would learn from this is if I were to be making my own decks, I would want to throw a lot of enchantment hate, as if I would have had anything to deal with these enchantments, I would have gotten my creatures back. So I think that was my biggest downside to this game. I'm not going to say that this deck was bad. I like the fact that Explore buffs up your creatures. I like the fact that Explore allows you to draw the cards that you want to draw. I think overall the deck is pretty neat. I just think that it needs some artifact hate. So let's see if Concede's up here. It's right there. Thank you all for watching. This game is over. I will get into the next deck in just a second.